And as an example, being in the Deer Clan, as an example, living in the Deer Clan, you could not go and marry into the Deer Clan because that's family. You see what I'm saying? And you'd say, well, you know, why couldn't you go by the man? Well, the man, what he does. Well, the man, what happens with him is the womb does not lie. The woman could say, oh, this belongs to her husband, but really, it could belong to somebody else. So the womb don't lie. So that's a way to keep it intact, because back then they didn't have DNA, and by not having DNA, so within that, the woman would be the one that determined the children all belong to her, and that by belonging, the woman being in charge then. Now by being in charge, the woman also at the same time, she's the only one that can give life. And by giving life to our people, that is a miracle. And by being a miracle, being a giver of life. And then of course, the man, when he marries into the woman, he becomes her family. He belongs to her family then. And then whenever you start having children, the uncle from the wife, from the mama, her brother would be an uncle to her. He would play a very, very, very important role, if not as much as the father. Because you got to keep in mind now, the father, he's going out on hunts because he has to take care of the family. But the uncle, he's there to help take care of the nieces and nephews of his sister. Yeah. So the uncle plays a very important role. Yes.
So what about in today's time? Now, how do you handle that? Who's the breadwinner? You mean, does a woman have to go out and earn the money while the man sits home?
In today's time, we live in your world, so all you got to do is take our race and put it into your world. That's how we live today. The woman will work, like the gentleman that was here. Okay. His wife works, he works, because just like we live in your world.
Okay.
In today's time. And then of course on the reservation, now we live on the reservation.
Which reservation, may I ask?
In Cherokee, North Carolina.
Oh,
but
okay.
By doing that though, and living on the reservation, some of them choose not to work.
Okay.
Some of them choose not to work.
You're okay, Cherokee, North Carolina. I've been there. I like the reservation area, but I just have a problem with all the stores. The way, you know, the Cherokees aren't really taking over the stores themselves. It's too commercial.
What it is, yes, I agree with you, it is too commercial. What they do with that is they are non-native people that come and lease those buildings to sell what they sell in those buildings and those crafts.
So you do reap the benefits?
We lease it to them.
Okay.
We rent out, basically. We rent out the buildings. And really, when it comes to the native people, the real native people, they're not, let's see, I don't know how to put it. They're really more of a standoffish type people.
Well,
they don't go and throw themselves out.
Okay.
They're more kind of a stay in the shadows, basically.
But I noticed in Fort Lauderdale at the reservation there, they're more aggressive and they have more going on, in other words, with the casinos.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the housing, because
Yes.
I went to the reservation that's near Weston, Florida. And in fact, I have some friends that live on the reservation there. And I'm hoping in the future to move there myself. So, yeah, they have a lot going on.
Well,
Seminole Indians.
The casinos have changed the, how would I put it? The casinos have changed the lives of the native people, yes. Yes, they have.
So, do you see any new casinos coming into the area where Harris is now?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's in the future plans?
I sit on council with the tribe.
Good.
Right? And by sitting on council, they're about an hour drive where Georgia, North Georgia, East Tennessee, and Western Carolina intersect, we're putting another casino there. And we I fought and pushed for that, and by getting it done, we just got it passed about 3 months ago. To open up
Wonderful. I'm
the
glad to
second
hear
casino.
that.
Yes.
So that sounds good for the future of North Carolina. I'm glad to hear that.
You know, there's always pros and cons in anything that you do. There could be the good thing, there could be the bad thing.
Okay.
Depending on what side of the coin you're looking at. I am considered as a traditionalist of my people. And by being a traditionalist, you seek the advice from your elders. So when you talk to the elders, in the beginning, before they had built the casino, it was that they did not want no casino.
Okay.
No. And the comments that the elders would say would be that the casino will bring filthy money, dirty money.
Yeah.
It will also, within that, it will bring more crime to the reservation, because you're bringing in more outsiders into here. So you bring in more crime, my elders would tell me. And not only that, then you got to beef up your police force. And by beefing up your police force, then you got the alcohol coming in.
That's right.
Then you'll have, not only that, more drugs coming in. You'll have more prostitution coming in. You more have of the guns and all of the other that comes with that coming into the reservation. And and then it ends up being like the mafia ends up controlling everything. And they weren't for it. That's in the very beginning. But the chief and council at that time, which I wasn't on council, they in return wanted to go, and they pushed it through. And by pushing it through, that's the casino that we have there now, which is, as you refer to as Harris, which now we refer to as Caesars. So within it being Caesars casino, it has done remarkably well. Now that we've even worked, now this is even in my term, getting it past where you have the live dealers and roulette and craps and all the other games that go with that. And it's really opened up the whole. It's wide open. It's blowing out the doors. It's just people love to gamble, love making money.
Where's that at?
It's in North Carolina, Cherokee. Yes.
How far is that?
Actually, it's about 250 miles from here.
Going towards?
You go towards Atlanta and just keep, you can stay on 85 and go, or you can stay on 75. 75, once we get the one in there, the second one, women being in charge. Earlier, ladies and gentlemen, I had made the statement of the female with the Cherokees, not only with the Cherokees, but in native world, that the female was the leader. She's in charge. And by being that way, we belong to clans. And clans, we have 7 clans with the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians. And of course, the female is the head of those clans. When a man marries a woman, he becomes part of her people. No, it ain't the other way around. In your world, the man, when he marries, the woman becomes his, and it becomes his. But in our world, the man becomes hers. And the reason why, though, that there are 7 clans is due to the fact we have the 4 directions, which is north, south, east, and west. Number 5 is the direction down. Number 6 is the direction up. And number 7 is you in the center of all those directions. And you go into any of those directions. All right, now that we understand number 7, so we have 7 clans. By having 7 clans, the female being the leader, the head of those clans, the children belong to the female side. When we get married in today's time, the children take on the man's name and the man's role, and they become his, and she becomes his. But in native world, it's the other way around. The man becomes hers, the children becomes hers. And the reason why I have made the statement is, why is that? Well, it's because the womb does not lie. The woman can go and say, the man, if he took on the man's name, you don't really know, really, 100% that that's really yours. You think it is, but really the woman really knows. But that's where the baby, that's the source, that's where it comes from. So that's why everything goes to the female side. Yes. Then I say, like, oh, that makes sense though, and that's why. And you don't marry back into your own clan like that. That's a no-no, because that's part of your family, you know. And so another thing to look at it in today's time, we didn't have DNA, and by having not DNA being done, DNA going, and we didn't have that back in the days. So really the only source of DNA that we have is due to the fact of going and being able to know where our children come from. Yes. So that makes sense, though.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, and so, you know, that's the thing about with the native culture. When we go and we learn the native culture, we don't really know a whole lot about the culture because you don't have people teaching it. I mean, not to the extent that really that I go and open up. But like I said earlier, there's a lot that I cannot share.
Right.
There's a lot that I cannot share, but I share a lot that people have never heard. Like I said, my knowledge is not from a book, and my knowledge is not from no computer. My knowledge is oral tradition. And that's the best way to learn. You know, a lot of people will go on a computer. You can go on a computer and you can pull up and try to learn about the Indians. But guess what? When you do that, you don't know who's on the other side of the computer.
That's true.
Teaching.
Yeah. I tried to do some really deep studying myself.
Yeah.
I needed someone like you to
Right.
explain it to me.
Right. And that's why I stay booked so much, overbooked, seriously. You know, even if during the month of February, we're not even studying in the school systems. We're not even studying Native American, Indian. We're not studying in February, but I'll be booked up in February because they can't get me in October and November, all the way up to December before when school lets out for the fall. But when February comes, we can't get you then, but we want you. So we're going to book you in February, and I'll stay booked up in February. A lot of knowledge here.
I need to let you get back to your audience. I'm sorry. Thank you very much.
You need help?
No.
I can pull you up.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sure.
Check on those horses.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, George.
I appreciate
You got that brochure? Yes.
it.
Be in touch.